Remember, at Reimagine Business Solutions, we're hiring. So I'm going to begin teaching some of the literature, which I called Reflections on Faith and Life, and SANDC, which is Summary and Notes, Discussion and Commentary. This is going to be just simply a beginning series of courses that I started some time ago because my kids, I call them my kids, who most of them have grown up, have asked me to provide summary and notes, discussion and commentaries on some of the literature I read, whether it's spiritual in nature or physical or education like PE, or even intellectual curiosity. And as a teacher, there are different types of intelligences. That means people who learn through hearing, through seeing, through introspection, through kinesthetics, through different types of reflections. And this is, again, just one means, one way, one truth, one person speaking about how I have learned, how I have taught, how others have benefited from specific types of knowledge, and how we can share in growth of understanding and truth and building a path or a way or a journey forward that benefits us all. As I've mentioned before, we're in a very fast traveling ship called Earth. As we traverse or journey throughout the solar systems, I hope and pray that people find benefit in my knowledge, in my teaching, in my life, in my offering, as I have from my predecessors, from my people, from my knowledgeable saints and scholars around me. Whatever I read, I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I'm simply providing my thoughts in this moment or based on my experiences, and I am grateful for all people who have sponsored me or have helped me along this journey, and I do want everyone to benefit from this. And even if you don't benefit from it, maybe you share it so that someone else will among your young students or those who are young at heart. So the first book I'm going to read speaks about Billie Jean King. She's considered as a tennis player who's done extraordinary things, and she's been quite vocal and active for some time as an accomplished feminist and an accomplished tennis player. This is what it says on this book. It says, Billie Jean was the first of her kind, a woman athlete who became a global cultural icon because of her pioneering activity as a person of spectacular tennis prowess. King describes her early days of pro tennis as she pushed to create and evolve or bring about an evolution into a 39-time Grand Slam champion, and that's pretty extraordinary. Whether it's woman or man, that is certainly an accomplishment in its own right, and considering the time that it happened, trailblazer type of stuff, a person who invented an industry and really made it exciting for young people to observe and relish in. And there's truth in it that people should keep building new industries and thinking what they mean outside the box innovatively in a way that brings about a greater good or a better day, a better tomorrow every day. So I'm going to start in random passages. I'm going to read through some of these so that everyone can think for themselves or learn different techniques of strengthening their body, their mind, their heart, and being someone of accomplishment, or at least to learn and to teach about these types of matters. So it says, when I came back to Berkeley to rehab my knee in the spring of 1969, I had another heartfelt talk with Larry. Larry later said it felt like the most poignant cry for help I'd ever made to him. He could see I was distraught about something and asked me, "What's wrong?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to ruin you, Larry. I'm going to ruin you." He said, "Why?" She said, "I've had some relationships in my past," I stammered. Then I told him for the first time that I'd gotten involved with someone on the road, but it was over. And I told him that my confusion about being attracted to both genders still existed in her. "That doesn't have anything to do with me. That won't ruin me," he said. "How can you be a lawyer if someone says I've had other relations or feelings for a woman?" "It won't bother me. It won't affect me," he insisted. "Don't be distraught on my account, Billie Jean. I never want to hurt you, Larry, and I'm afraid I'll ruin you, I repeated. I felt telling the truth was the right thing to do, but confessing that I had had an affair stung and angered Larry, and he came to believe that it gave him license to see other people, discreetly at first. I knew about some of them. Sports Illustrated had printed the names of the people he had been with, but I had felt no footing to protest. I had betrayed him first. I wasn't even sure that I should still be married, but being together was the only thing either of us had ever known since we were 17 and 18. In a paradoxical way, and this is the times, right, of 1969, the sexual revolution was occurring in the United States, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Our problem wasn't that we were out of love, far from it. We cared about each other so much that we kept straining for a way to negotiate a growing list of challenges that never felt in control. Neither of us wanted to countenance the idea that some of those challenges doomed us as a couple. Some magical thinking set in instead. Maybe if we waited things out, our problems would somehow resolve themselves. I kept playing, and Larry finished his law degree by summertime, but it turned out to be a miserable year for both of them. They didn't win the major in 1970, and we were still getting along by that time. We went to Wimbledon, and we foolishly agreed to let BBC crew follow us for a few days when a word came out about the tournament, and so on. So this is, again, relationship management skills. It's not just subject to Larry and BC and Billie Jean. So this is a specific experience that someone was going through in a loving relationship in the 1960s, especially in 1969. Again, this was just a random opening to a page of people who, what I consider, are in the limelight, who are blazing a trail for young people to understand how life is at times. So I'll read a couple more passages, and it's something to think about and to know that people are creatures of habit. People are affected in similar ways. So compassion and consideration and understanding and love really does win the day in my limited view of the world, but it's true.